The key to creating a revenue system within your clinic is to ensure that you have a process in place that is automated, it is systematized, and is predictable to allow your clinic to continue to grow without any more manual input. What I'm going to show you here is how I've designed a clinic to capture lead information, nurture that lead all the way through to becoming a patient, a paying member, and how this setup nurtures them for long-term patient retention, lifetime value, and from that, increased results from the work that you do for your patients. Without further ado, I'm going to jump into this, describe the flow of how this works. When a prospect sees an ad for the specific clinic, they'll click on it, fill out a form, that will create a new lead here in the system. Once that form is submitted, they now get directed to book a discovery call. Discovery call is the first place that they have contact with somebody in this clinic. They'll go ahead and book the discovery call, and on that discovery call is where they're going to go ahead and go through the blood draw. The blood draw is the first step of a product with this clinic. After the blood draw, there is a consultation with provider, and after that, there is a discussion about having a membership with them, which includes hormones, peptides, all that good stuff. So they can fully optimize their health based on the blood draw. A very seamless patient journey that they've created, and that was then outlined in the CRM to ensure that the experience the patient had was seamless throughout, and that it elevated the experience. They stayed longer, got better results, and in turn, it increased the profitability for the company, for the clinic. What we had here is a sales pipeline. So as the lead came in, boom, it came in, and then from this, automations went out to text, email them to get them to go and book a call. If they didn't from that, somebody from the team on the sales team would be hit up to contact them and get them to book. So they'd start a conversation that way. Once that lead was booked, they go into here and there'd be nurtures in place to make sure that they showed up to the call. High value emails, reminders, etc., to get them warmed up for the call. When they got to the call, they showed up, one, but they came ready to buy, they came ready to work with this clinic. And then the rest of this pipeline then is used as a means to continue to nurture and follow up with prospects that have not bought yet. No shows, cancellations, automatic nurtures in place to take care of that. Follow-up meeting, that's just to remind somebody that they have to follow up with a potential patient. And then discovery lost. They didn't purchase the blood draw. They go into a cool down, and then they'll go into a nurture sequence, and then a long-term nurture after that. The goal here is to create a system where no lead is left behind, and they're continuously being nurtured with information that is relevant to them and gets them ready and primed. When they are ready to buy, you are the choice. But if they don't buy and they unsubscribe, that's where they fall out of this. And that's the only way they fall out of this. You can still get them back in through ads and other means. So once they're gone, doesn't mean they're gone forever. This is the one pipeline that allows them to manage their prospects. Now, once they have somebody that has decided to purchase and go ahead and use their blood draw or purchase their blood draw, then it goes into a separate pipeline to nurture the relationship to get them to become a member. Once they become a member, they come into this pipeline called the membership pipeline. And this is where they are completely nurtured all the way through. Blood draw consultation booked, boom, they're sitting in there, and there's reminders for their actual consult, their blood draw and their consultation. It goes from blood draw to blood draw complete. There's data to show how many of these that book actually complete, and then there's another data point for no shows that can also be nurtured automatically to get them to rebook their blood draw. Then after that consultation, now there's two choices. They can become a member or they don't. If they become a member, boom, they go into the active member deal one stage. That's where they get just patient member information, emails, etc. No marketing emails, anything like that. But this is where you can then start to build a list to continue to upsell, to provide more value to your patient to help them reach their goals, whether it be DEXA, VO2 max, whatever other options you have to help them reach their goals. You can continue to nurture them based on the properties on their contact, the information you have on their goals, and where they're sitting in the pipeline stage. However, if they complete the blood draw and the consultation and don't book, that's where they go into the member nurture. You can continue to nurture them and get them to come back and become a member. And the last column here is a lost customer. They come through and they do the blood draw, the consultation. They say, hey, I'm going to be a member, but then afterwards, I don't want to be a member anymore. My goals have been met, whatever the reason may be. They go into the lost customer column, which then allows people to be re-nurtured. We can reactivate the lost customers to get them back as members after a 3, 6, 9-month period to ensure that they continue to hit their health goals, and that once they left, things didn't fall off the wagon. And if they did, hey, you get right back up in front of them where the pain is that they have, and you show them how you can solve that problem. Overall, this system was built to create a process, an automated process to make sure that the prospect had a seamless experience from click to close, close to membership, membership and beyond. But also it creates automations in the back end to replace 80% of the manual work that most of the front desk and clinic staff were doing in order to manage this. Now it's all completely managed automatically. There's less room for human error and more room to take care of patients, make sure their patients are getting the results they want. And when you have a service that can focus primarily on patient wellness and patient results, well, the results are going to speak for themselves, and you're going to have a wealth of patients to help from there. This system not only is here to help your staff, this system is here to grow your business, to grow it by being able to optimize and provide a higher level of service to your patients. So you become the obvious choice in the marketplace. And by doing that, you get your time back, you get freedoms back, you get a profitable clinic, and now you can expand to multi-location, to franchise if you want to do that and impact more lives. Or if you're at the point that you're ready to exit, a system like this is just going to increase your multiple. I hope this was helpful. Comment below what the most valuable portion of this was and what you're currently working on in your clinic to make sure things are systematized, automated, and providing more value to you, your patients, and buying back your time.